What's going on, guys? Pixcam here, back with a brand new video. For what it feels like forever, we are finally doing an FIA race on this channel. So I decided to do the FIA race on Saturday. It was the Nations Cup around Lago Maggiore, the East 2nd edition, and it's only the Group 4 cars, but you can see that everybody decided to either pick the Megane, either that or the Audi TT, and or the Alfa Romeo. So we decided to pick the Megane, and there's a reason why the Megane was such a huge popular pick, but I'll explain that to you a little bit later here as we get into our qualifying. So we only got about 10 minutes of practice before this race. I did this really last minute, but we get into our qualifying, we get a 124.6, and currently that is only good enough for a 12th, but I decided to go back around, try so we can get a second lap in, but unfortunately we just were unable to get into the quali or into that second lap, and quali ended right before we crossed the start finish line. So we only got one lap in. Very disappointed, because I know I could have gone a little bit better. I think I could have got it down to a low 124, if not high 123, and that could have put us in 10th place. So again, there's a reason why people were picking the Megane. The Megane, well, this race actually was a really big fuel saver race. So the fuel consumption was very great, and as well as the tire combat that we're using was the mediums and the hards only. So you're going to be using a lot of fuel just because it's a very slow tire compound. If you want to make your way through the field, you have to burn it up basically, and the Megane has the best fuel mileage and as well as the best tire savings. So not the fastest car on the track, but it's really great when it comes to conservation. So that's the reason why this car was so popular. So we're gonna jump right into it, guys. Let's see how everything works out. Jumping to the race, here we go. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Starting off in 18th, you can see how far back we are compared to the leaders, as they are already making their way into turn 1. We're just barely coming out of the final corner, as already some contact is happening up ahead. So we started off on the mediums here compared to some of the other guys. Some of the other guys decided to start on the hards, and you're gonna see that we're gonna have a ton of pace these first opening laps, and it's going to be very crucial to just get around as many people as we can, try to get into that open air, and just put in some quick lap times. If we can do that, that's going to be very beneficial towards us, and we could probably make our way through the field and get ourselves hopefully a top 10 position, since we are starting all the way back in 18th. So we get a really great run off of the S's right behind the American of ID I believe that's how you say his name. And as we head into this hairpin right here, you should see he just goes a tad bit wide mid corner, and we're able to get a great exit, go onto the inside, and try to go for the overtake right here. But in doing so, you just like I said, I had to really worry about the fuel. So I wanted to drive super aggressively because I was on the better compound tires, but I just had to keep an eye on the fuel and make sure that we weren't using too much of it, because if we use too much of this fuel, basically all the positions I made up is going to go to waste, because we're going to be stuck in the pits for an extra couple of seconds. And those extra couple of seconds could easily ruin your race or allow other cars to get around you. So we were able to make the overtake on him, but like I said, going into turn number 1 behind Shecky, I was just trying to abuse the slipstream, just stay right behind him, short shift here, release the throttle before the corner, and just do everything we can to just do some fuel saving. But again, we're still right behind him. We got a great run off of turn number 1, and we're just staying in the slipstream. We also got Moto Guzzi right ahead of us, so I wanted to get around him as well as we head into the S's. But you could just tell the pace difference between the people using the hards and the people using the mediums, as we get very close to the rear of Shecky, but he gets a little bit wide off of the S's. Take a little sneak onto the inside, just go for a power move here, try to make the overtake as he goes a tad bit wide once again. And so does Moto Guzzi here right ahead of us, as we gain one position. Are we brave enough to try to go for a second one? But as we head into the straight here, into the corner, just a little too far back. Like I said, I could have lunged onto the inside like I kind of did right there, but it could be a little more aggressive. Just didn't want to do that too early in the race. Could have easily pushed him out of the way, and that could have been a penalty. But going into the final set of corners, we take a little peek onto the inside. He gave us a little bit of space on the inside to try to create that overtake, but He closed the door right on me as he just took the normal racing line, and we just had to back up. Now we would have ran into the side of him, and that's not what we want to do here. So we want to get the overtake done cleanly, and that's what we're going to do right here as we head into turn number 1. We take it onto the inside, but it looked like he tried pinching us down, and in doing so, we made contact with him, and it was, for me, I believe that was my corner. I was on the inside. And he just kind of trying to pitch me down. I probably didn't know how much space there was, and just a little bit of contact was made. But we were able to gain that position right there. We're up into 15th, and now we're trying to chase down the driver up ahead of DZD in 14th place. And you can see that we're just gaining on him every single corner. And these S's right here on these mediums are just so great. Just absolutely amazing compared to these guys running on the hard. It could just make up so much time, and it's so great to just go through these corners in the Megane. I don't know, it's just a really great set of flowing corners. But we jump up to lap number 5, and just literally a lap later, we're already on the back bumper of DZD, and we're now just taking a little peek onto the inside, just looking where we can go for the overtake. Don't really want to do it on the S's right here because it can get a little bit, how can I say it, just very tight, and it can easily lead to someone getting pushed off and getting a penalty. So definitely don't want to try to make any maneuvers around here. But off of the exit, we get a really great run. He goes into the right hand side. We attempt to go for that power move again onto the inside, try to go for the overtake, backs out right before the corner, and that is P14 for us. So in the span of 5 laps, we gained 4 positions. Not too shabby, especially because this is a top split lobby, so we had a lot of really fast guys. I believe everybody in this lobby was A+. So you know, these are no slouchers. We are actually racing against some really tough cookies here. So we didn't want to you know, just stay in the back. We wanted to push our way up forward and just do everything we could to maximize these mediums, because when these guys switch off from their hards to their mediums, they're going to be really quick, and we're going to be on the back foot here, just doing everything we can to defend our position. But on to lap number 10, you can see that we're still running decent lap times. We're actually still running some fast sectors here, some of our fastest ones of the session. And you know, the medium tire compound on the, you see on the left hand side, it's almost dead. It's about 75% left of usage, and for some reason it's still running strong, which is great. So I didn't want to come in this lap, but some other drivers did. You can see right ahead that some guys on the hards decided to come in, and it's going to be really interesting to see the pace difference between some of these guys, because they were the leaders, so they were able to kind of pull away from everybody else. But going into turn number 1, we find ourselves up into 11th because of those drivers that had to come into the pits, and we are now getting closer and closer to no pun intended. But as we head into the end of lap 11 into lap number 12, we're almost now on his back bumper, which is great. It's showing that we have pace, and it's showing that we are able to fight here, and it's also showing that we are really taking care of these tires if we're still this competitive on lap number 12. And we're gonna have to come into the pits either this lap or next lap, because the hards are soon gonna be the tire of choice here for us, because they're going to be a lot more quicker than the mediums that we are using right now. So we're just biding our time here, just keeping an eye on the lap times and as well as the traffic, as we have Motherboard right ahead of us. Just came out of the pits, and you can see again that the Alfa Romeo was another car of choice. For me, just never really liked using it over the Megane, but I can see the appeal of the Alfa Romeo. I know it's really great on the corners and on the exits of corners compared to the Megane, but like I said, I felt more comfortable with the Megane, and this was just the choice that we decided to go with. But you can see that on this lap, it's just we really haven't made any time on closer. So I was thinking to myself, maybe this lap is going to be the lap that we come into the pits, because we just been following along closer, and we actually have been losing time to some of these new guys, or some of these guys that have new compounds on their car right here. As you can see, Motherboard is just pulling away. I believe he's on the hards as well. So this definitely gave me the indication that, all right, it's time to switch the tires, go on to the hards. Hopefully closer doesn't come in, but unfortunately, with my luck, closer decides to come in as well. and we're gonna switch off from the mediums to the hard. So just wait for the refueling there. We saved plenty of fuel actually, so due to us riding behind the slipstream of some of these guys, we're actually able to do a lot of short shifting, a lot of coasting into the corners, and we actually saved a lot of fuel, which allowed me to build a huge gap from the cars behind, and we were actually able to get in front of closer. So not sure exactly what happened to closer. I don't know if he just didn't save enough fuel. He had to stay in the pits a lot longer, but if he did, that was the cost right there. As you can see that we were able to just gain another position, and we are now up into 13th place on our hard compound tires. But this is the part where it was very, very tricky, because like I said, we're on the hardest compound tires. We still have about a good 6-7 laps to go, and everybody right behind us is on low fuel and on the best compound tires. So all that's going to do is just allow them to put in some blistering quick lap times, and for us it's going to be very, very scary. As you can see that already DZD was already on our rear heading into turn number 1. Literally only took him about 4 or 5 laps to chase us down, and this is the price I pay for using the hard compound tires for our second stint. So we're just trying to stay ahead of him, do everything in our power to defend as we head into the S's, and if we could just hold our lines, make sure that we're running decent lap times and decent racing lines, I think we should be able to hold off at least a couple of them. I don't know about DZ Dead. He had such a great set of laps beforehand, and so I know it was going to be very difficult to try to defend our position as we keep it onto the inside, heading to the hairpin. He basically does the same maneuver that I did early in the race, except he kind of pushes us out there. Really wasn't appreciative of that. That was you know, I know he came in there really, really high. I think he flashed in right there to say sorry, but you know, in his argument, I guess he was on the go. He needed to get around me in order to try to pull away. But we also get unfortunately overtaken by Shecky due to us getting pushed into the grass. We lost a ton of momentum down the straight, and Shecky was able to just get easily onto the inside, brake later than us due to the better compound tires, and he was able to take 14th away from us. So up from 13th down to 15th. If we could just stay in the slipstream right here and just stay with them, we might be able to regain those positions back, because those mediums are going to start wearing out here soon, and I'm not sure what their situation is with conserving tires, but we'll see how well they go. As you can see this right here on lap 20, we are all over the rear of Shecky. I'm keeping an eye on the fuel as well, because we do only have enough for about 3 laps, and look at that on the board, there's only 3 laps left. So it's going to be kind of tight here at the end, where we have to just worry about fuel management, but not only that, just abusing these hards as best as we can and maximizing their potential, as we're just staying right behind Shecky heading to turn number 1. So you can see that the pace difference right here, it really isn't that different actually. It was a lot more different in the beginning of the stint, but now that we're here with about 2 laps to go and those mediums have worn off, at least the lifespan of those mediums have worn off, you can see now that the hards are starting to prevail, and we're actually able to just be competitive with these compounds, as we have about a lap and a half left in this race. So into the hairpin once again, we stay right behind Shecky, and we're just staying in the slipstream again, just keeping an eye on the fuel progression here and just seeing where we're at, as we have about 1.4 laps left of fuel. So once we get to the line, if we're still right behind Shecky, if we see that we have about 1.2 laps left of fuel, we're just gonna push it. We're just gonna have to run it dry and just try to push this car as much as we can. And if we run out of fuel trying to get that 13th position, hey, it's 13th, you know what I mean? If we were fighting for the lead, then yeah, then I would have to be a little bit more smart about my decision. But it's either 13th or last place. For me, it's kind of both the same. We just have to just push for it and try to just maximize the amount of points that we can get on this race. So there we go, 1 lap left in this race. We still have about 1.1 laps of fuel, at least when we cross the start finish line. Drop down to 1.0, now 0.9, but we are pushing it now, and I believe Shecky and DZDs is pushing it as well. As you can see, they picked up their pace here as we head into the S's for the final time. Taking a nice clean line here. He brakes super early here and really catches me off guard. I was not expecting him to brake that much into that right-hander, and we almost run into the back of him as we just lose our racing line there. go very, very wide, and that just killed our exit. So that killed my momentum to try to make the overtake going into the hairpin. So that has been my speciality for this race. But off of the hairpin, unfortunately due to that, we weren't able to really close up the gap. It you know, split up into about half a second away from 14th position, and at this point just doing everything in my power to just run as clean of lap times as we can, or clean of lap racing lines as I can. And just unfortunately, we just were unable to close the gap here as we head into the final corner, take the widest of entrance into this corner, try to see if we can get a great exit, but just pushed it a little too hard here, and these hards are not working with me. And coming off the final corner, we're unable to do this, and we come home in 15th position. So started from 18th, worked our way up into 13th, and we finished this in 15th. I know we could have done a lot better on this race, but it's just the qualifying and a couple of other circumstances just didn't allow us to finish in a better position than we could have probably done. But 15th, I guess, especially since we were ranked 19th, I guess it's not that bad. But you know, you always want to go for you know, top 5 podiums or wins. But with this race, I know I could have done a lot better. But hey, sometimes races like this happen. You just gotta take it on the chin and just learn from your mistakes. And hopefully on the next one you do a lot better. But let me know how you guys did, if you guys did do this race, in the comments down below. If you guys really enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so. If you guys want to follow me on the Twitters, Instagram, or even on Discord, all those links are in the description down below. And since you guys made it all the way to the end here, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.